Well, if you're wondering why I have so many boxes and shit behind me with empty shelves, I'm sorry to report that I am selling my entire video game collection. No. Actually, I'm moving out of this apartment and into my first home at almost 33 years old, which is ironically enough the same exact age my dad moved to his first home back in the day. So I'm gonna try to make this kind of like an update video, make it short and sweet. There's not an entire jumbled up stuff to talk about. I apologize if maybe the audio quality is a little bit off, or that, it's just kind of a clustered mess going on behind me. Is what it is in the process of a move, which is actually in the next 5-6 days. So I have no idea when this video is actually going to come out, but if it does come out before the 28th, that's when I'm moving, December 28th. So with that, a couple things are going to happen. There's going to be a dry spell in videos for a little bit of time until we can really get everything, situated at the new house. And with it being the first home me and my fiance are buying, we're new to this whole thing. So the idea and understanding of what needs to be done first, second, third, whatever, what's the most important thing we have to do first is kind of odd, just because it's such a new thing for us. What really pushed us, honestly, to get out of this apartment wasn't necessarily that we wanted to get a home. I mean, that was a good thing that we wanted to do at some point, but push came to shove because the apartment complex that we live in, while at one point it was kind of nice, things have steadily gone downhill with certain people that have been moving in that are on the more sketchier side of things. Now dogs are allowed in the building, which I don't necessarily have a problem with dogs, but I do have a problem with the owners of dogs that don't take care of their fucking animals. So constantly, you go outside and there's shit on the sidewalk. There's shit literally all over the place. People not picking up after the dogs, and some of the dogs that have moved in here are pretty damn vicious, and I don't know why, but some of these dogs are not on leashes. All of this stuff was addressed by the landlord, that it's not supposed to happen, but she still lets it happen. And with some of the people that we live with at this complex just being just nasty people, rude, disrespectful, up all hours of the night, being disgusting, loud, banging on the walls and furniture and shit. There's a stripper pole downstairs, which I don't know why, but someone in this apartment complex has a stripper pole, and they're not necessarily attractive, at least to me. So that's interesting. I'm assuming it's OnlyFans. Not that any of this shit matters, but basically things got so bad and so annoying, and the rent increased like a good $150 plus for us to re-sign. And there's such weird things that this new landlord has thrown into the lease agreement that it's like, we need to get out of here before it's more of a problem. So that's really what led us to moving. And ironically enough, the place that we're moving to, the mortgage is pretty much the exact same as what we would be paying with the new lease of the rent. So it's like, why would we not move? It doesn't make any sense to stay here. So, like I said, because of that, the move and all that stuff, things might slow down a little bit until we get, our feet situated in this new place. I apologize for that in advance. There are still projects that I want to put out, and once we get situated, there are some plans going forward. For one, the thrift store game hunting thing is still going to happen. The problem that I've been having is that, here I have 20 to 25 files worth of footage, but only in one of those video footage files is me finding games to buy. So that's kind of annoying. I don't necessarily want to put out a video where here Foxxy's just buying like 4 games and then kind of either complaining about this or complaining about that or whatever. It's like I want to be able to include more things that I have found for a good price. So I think what I'm going to start doing more of is jumping on the pawn shops and kind of the weird oddball game shops around the area, especially the new area that we're going to be moving to. I don't necessarily know what's out there because it's not necessarily near where we're living now. So that'll be kind of like a new experience eventually. The motorcycle stuff, let's talk more about the gaming stuff. Reviews, all that stuff that I have not done pretty much at all in this year of 2024 is going to eventually start to pick up back again in the new year. Just really haven't had much of a focus on gaming lately. I've been working my ass off at my job, and with this whole move thing happening, I've been so stressed out, really, that I didn't want to make a game review or a video in general, a big video, in fact, where I was going to be kind of under the gun with stress and just like anxiety of this new place and just kind of everything that's going on in my personal life, because I didn't feel that the video would turn out as well as it could, and I'm not a big fan of releasing half-assed videos. I did that many, many years ago when I was stressed out and just didn't give a shit. I don't feel it's respectful for the viewers for me to just put out something that I don't necessarily have my heart into. So we're not doing that. I'm going to wait. Motorcycle stuff, it's winter. There are things I want to do. Royal Enfield videos in particular are going to happen. More motorcycle stuff in general is going to happen. I promised that I would start doing more of a healthy balance of the gaming and the motorcycle stuff in the future. I'm still holding on to that promise. It's just an odd period, so just bear with me. There really isn't necessarily a whole lot of different projects that I've thought about. Like, with going on Facebook and looking up, like, finding game deals online, I haven't even thought about, honestly, any sort of, like, rise and fall type of video. I haven't necessarily thought about. I do have a file on my computer, like a little document that's like a year old, of where I wanted to do, and I'm drawing a blank here, but the company behind the SOCOM games back in the day, because the SOCOM US Navy SEAL games were gigantic. And then out of nowhere, they just kind of fell off the face of the earth, and I kind of wanted to cover them at some point. I'm not necessarily sure I'm still going to do that. I might scrap it. Don't know yet. But I want to do more of like rise and fall videos with the gaming industry, and maybe with the motorcycle industry as well. I haven't really thought about that until just this second. Maybe it would be kind of cool to cover motorcycle related content with a rise and fall type thing, like Moto Morini. There was a rise and fall of them. MV Augusta, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and maybe even kind of oddball companies back in the day like Matchless or BSA. I could cover them because I know a lot about the company, so maybe that is something worth making a video on. Now, as far as my personal health, because a lot of you know about my pyoderma gangrenosum stuff and just kind of like my weird medical history and how it nearly killed me and left me into a path of just self-destruction. There was a period in September where things got really bad. My wound that's 3 years old now on my left foot got worse. For some odd reason, we don't even know why. No one really knows why. It just, pyoderma is just such a bullshit disease that doesn't have a rhyme or reason why things happen. I had a flare-up outside of my wound bed on my left foot. There was 2 new holes that appeared. Things got worse. It got significantly more painful. Words cannot describe the amount of pain that I was in at that time. I could barely walk, but I was still pulling like 40 hours a week at work because I'm a stubborn piece of shit asshole. I gotta make money. So that was my thing. I was working under extreme pain and extreme stress, and I didn't really give a shit. That probably didn't contribute to my health getting worse, by the way, because stress is also allegedly a key factor in a flare-up with pyoderma. Don't know if that's true. Regardless, things are starting to get better as of the beginning of December. My wound seems to be on a steady track of healing again. It's still large. I still have no idea when it's finally going to close. I can't even give you a time frame. Hopefully in the next 6 months. But would I be lying to you if I said I knew that for sure? Absolutely. That would be a bold-faced lie. And I would also be bold-faced lying to you if I said I'm not dealing with a tremendous amount of pain still. It's just, whereas before in September I was at an 8 out of 10, I'm still maybe around a 5 to 6 on my worst days, depending on what treatment I am using to cover my wound. But regardless, I just want to thank all of you guys who have reached out in the past couple of weeks, asking how I'm doing because of the whole thing about me not posting as frequently. But I am doing okay. Stressed out, of course, yes. But as far as my physical health, things are hopefully continuing to be on the up and up. So thank you all so much. Thank you to all the new subscribers, old subscribers, the people that have been with me now for years upon years. Words cannot express how much I appreciate you guys and how much you care for me, not as a YouTuber, but as a person. That's still one of the things that I have a hard time believing is, like, you know, how much fans care for the people that they follow online. I don't really think there's anything I'm missing, but if there is, I'll splice it in at some point in this video. Until then, guys, I can't necessarily say when I will be back. It should be hopefully mid to late January, if not early February, once things kind of settle down at the new place. And we'll kind of go from there, I guess. So thank you all so much again. I will see you next time. That is for damn sure. But just kind of bear with this kind of dry spell for right now. So, again, thank you. See you next time. Take care.